that much of equal to Arjuna.
What is Arjuna seeing?
The universal form of the Lord.
Arjuna is seeing the universal form of the Lord. The Lord gave him divine vision and he's seeing the universal form. And one of the descriptions Arjuna gave was the light is as bright as thousands of sun, as if thousands of sun have arisen together. Okay? Correct. So he saw Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and all the demigods, right? Chanaras, Kinnaras, Gandharvas, etc., from the bottom of the universe to the top, right? So from the area where the lotus actually stems from the navel of Lord Viṣṇu till up till the topmost planet Brahma Loka, where he saw Brahmaji sitting on the lotus. Okay. Anything else?
Sun and moon are the eyes of the Lord.
Sun and moon are the eyes of the Lord, okay? What was Arjuna's reaction after seeing all this?
He was bewildered. He was very scared also.
Yes. He was bewildered, he was scared. Okay. So, after being bewildered and scared, what he does? He started praying to Krishna, yes. Okay. This is locked. So, Bhagwan, सबसे पहले वो Hare Krishna. सबसे पहले he requests. So this acronym of this chapter, Hare Krishna, acronym of this chapter is also Rupa. Right?
Sorry?
Acronym for this chapter, 11th chapter, can also be called Rupa, R-U-P-A. So Arjuna, he humbly requests in the beginning, please show me your universal form. So R, then Krishna shows the universal form, that's your universal form. Right? And seeing the universal form, Arjuna starts praying. Correct? And
Last.
एक
We also see earthquake start. Very natural calamity, no? True.
Yes. So
Arjuna was seeing all this, right? There must be.
correct. So Arjuna starts praying like some days back, I think 2 days back or 3 days back, there was very heavy lightning, right? Everyone experienced it. Heavy lightning. so I think Manohar was like really scared.
Manohar was scared?
Even we were scared. Because it seemed like the lightning fell somewhere. ऐसा आवाज आया था. So Arjuna starts praying, right? And basically this chapter also establishes, like Krishna has given, he said everything he has to say in terms of showcasing how he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, right? He said so many opulences, described so many opulences. So this chapter also establishes the authority of Krishna. Now he's practically demonstrating right, his universal form. So that's why Rupa, R-U-P-A.
K stands for what?
Authority.
Authority.
Yeah.
As in?
He's so anyone who's trying to claim God, whether he's authorized or not, we have to question. Show me your universal form.
Right. Sorry, R for R.
R is Arjuna requesting to show the universal form. Then U is Krishna displays the universal form. P is after seeing the universal form, Arjuna prays. Yeah, starts his prayers, right? And A is this establishes the authority of the Supreme. And not just Arjuna, but even great authorities. Arjuna also says that it's not just me, but all the other great authorities also accept you as the Supreme, like that. So authority of the Lord. So the entire chapter from now on, authority is just like your teacher in school is an authority, right? Whatever she asks you to learn, you try to sincerely learn. Correct? Now your teacher can teach you. Do you go to learn from Sabji Wala in the market? No, right? You don't go to him to learn maths. You have a maths teacher. Why? Because she is expert in maths. Correct? So she is an authority in maths. So we should always learn from an authority who's expert in the subject. Understood? What is authority? What is authority?
It is like not learn from that.
Okay, yes, very nice. So somebody who's an expert in a particular subject is an authority in that subject. Okay? So the rest of the chapter right now is Arjuna's prayers and how he's praying to the Lord, and so there are hardly any purports also in these shlokas.
Yeah.
So what we'll do is we'll read them. Okay, one by one we'll go through and read them. And after finishing the chapter, we'll finish pretty soon. So after finishing the chapter in about, I think more than 20 minutes se zyada nahi lagega. We'll finish the chapter. Then I want you all to, since we've been around for some time, 2 years, right, at least.
No.
No, not this class. In general, in Krishna consciousness, 2 years. आपको 1 साल तो हो गया. Correct? So I'll give you some topics to speak on. Simple topics, which in general is useful for preaching. Is useful if somebody questions you कि भाई ये क्यों करना चाहिए, ये क्यों खाना चाहिए, क्यों खाना नहीं चाहिए, and all of those things. So we hear from you what you have to say, and then we'll create pointers exactly how to respond to such questions, so that we become an authority also in speaking about Krishna consciousness. वरना हमको कोई बोलेगा कि अरे बताओ Krishna consciousness philosophy क्या है, you will be blank. Or you will have some answer which is little haphazard, right? So some basic things we need to be prepared with. थोड़ा preparation, I mean point blank मेरे से भी कोई पूछ ले मैं भी सोचूंगा थोड़ा यार क्या है. लेकिन if we are prepared, so then it becomes easier for us to share with others. Okay, so we'll do that exercise.
Things are away. But it's कितने लोग बोलते थे क्या आ जाती है each time ये behavior में
हाँ हाँ नहीं मेरे को भी बोलते थे यार, अरे भगवान का नाम लेते ये सब करता है, तेरे घर में ऐसे बात करते हैं. So ये सारे क्वेश्चंस का आंसर कैसे देने का तो वो भी हम डिस्कस करेंगे. ठीक है. Anyways. So once you start displaying a little bit ना, ये अरे कंटी पहन लिया, ये तो साधु आदमी है, ऐसा angry. We will start. They expect the highest behavior, and which is good also, which actually makes us conscious that we have a certain responsibility in society. That's great, but at the same time we have to understand our level also. We are not Paramahamsas. Right. So Prabhupada, I think I shared the other day, Prabhupada made a very beautiful statement. So he made a statement that there are so many challenges and difficulties in material life, right? It's always disturbing, right? We are constantly disturbed, right? Kalyuga especially, people are prayana alpa ayusha sabya kalo asmin yuge janaha mandaha su manda matayo manda bhagya hi upadrita. Upadrita means always disturbed. So our constant state is we are always disturbed. Something or the other will come, right? किसी ने कुछ बोल दिया, किसी ने कुछ भला बुरा बोल दिया, बॉस ने कुछ एक्सपेक्टेशन बढ़ा दिया, right? We're constantly disturbed. Family, job, business, relatives, कुछ ना कुछ आते ही रहता है, right? So Prabhupada, he acknowledges and he says, yes, right? Kalyuga and material life, and especially Kalyuga, means we are always disturbed. He says, one who is not disturbed is a Paramahamsa. is a Paramahamsa, one who's not disturbed. So don't expect that since you're practicing devotee, suddenly, Arey, main to jap kar raha hu, why am I disturbed? It's the nature of material world to, keep you disturbed. If you're bogged down by being disturbed, one should be, of course, right? One should be frustrated. Kya hai, kitna disturbance hai? But if you're bogged down and we give up chanting, अरे बहुत disturbance आ गया, chanting छोड़ देता हूँ, right? थोड़े दिनों के लिए side में रख देता हूँ. That's the medicine, right? And once you take that, we are actually on the path of reaching a state where we are not disturbed, right? Prabhupada created this Krishna consciousness movement so that everyone becomes Paramahamsas, not disturbed. So we have to travel that path, right? So that, again, gradual development of faith, right? The more and more faith you have.
But if you're busily stretching it for very long, then your faith again shakes.
Stretching it long as it?
Continuous.
Continuous what?
The misery, problem. It's not ending only. 1 month, 2 months, 3 months.
So if someone is intelligent, he understands why am I suffering, right? He understands why am I suffering. What is the root cause of my suffering? So Nectar of Devotion describes the root cause of suffering. ठंडा है? ठंडी लग रहा है?
It's like heavy waves are going to float. You can't be on.
Exactly.
Heavy waves are going to
बंद हो गया. हाँ. So that time we actually need to hold the lotus feet of Krishna even tighter. And मैं क्या बोला था, मैं भूल गया इसी के चक्कर में.
That is a medicine. That is a medicine you said that. And you have to understand why you are.
You have to understand why we are suffering. Correct. So Nectar of Devotion, it describes the root cause of suffering. So it describes basically the entire cycle of sin. We are suffering because of sin, karma, right? We've done papa. So kaise it is in the form of bija, then putam, then it fructifies, and then it bears the fruit. Pura process bataya. And uska jo root hai, if you consider sin to be like a plant, right? So plant ka seed rehta hai, right? The seed is basically because we have sinned in the past. So every time you commit a sinful act, it gives a seed to commit that same activity again. Right? Agar maine मान लीजिए, I ate non-vegetarian food, for example, that's a heavy sin, right? I've killed some animal and I've eaten. So that becomes a seed for me to commit the same act again. So it's a cycle. And uska results bhi aayega. So seed fructify hoga, aur badhega, right? So that's prarabdha, aprarabdha karma. Prarabdha is already what you are about to suffer, or you are suffering. That's prarabdha. Aprarabdha is which is not yet fructified yet. उसका अब तक फल मिला नहीं है आपको. heavy sins का जो मतलब suffering होता है वो मिला नहीं अब तक. मिलेगा लेकिन, right? And again, when it fructifies again, you have a seed. Right? So the cycle continues. And it's described that the root of this plant of sin is, yes, ignorance. Because of ignorance, we commit sinful activities. Ignorance of what?
Body.
Ulta bola. Avidya is ignorance of our relationship with Krishna, ignorance of our constitutional position as a soul, as servant of Krishna. So, because see, when we are in ignorance, one of the definitions of bhakti is sarvopadhi vinirmuktam tatparatvena nirmalam rishikena rishikesham sevanam bhakti. Right? One of the definitions of uttam bhakti is sarvopadhi vinirmuktam. All the upadhis. I give up all the upadhis. Upadhi is titles. What are the titles? What's your title? At your work, what is your title? Huh? OE lead. OE lead. So Himandu Prabhu will proudly say, oh, I'm OE lead. for Sun Pharma, right? It's an upadhi, it's a designation, right? Some doctor will say, I'm a doctor, I'm a lawyer, etc., etc. Somebody will say, I am his father, I am his mother, etc. So these are all upadhis, these are all designations, right? So pure bhakti, uttam bhakti is sarvopadhi vinirmuktam. Right, you may have it designations, not that, while we are living in the material world, we cannot live without designations. But if that gets into our head, or that is what we identify with, right, that's where, we commit sin. Correct? Arey, mere ko kaise kuch bol diya? You don't know who am I. Right? So false ego is basically false identification with some of these designations. Right? I am the owner of this car. Kaise mere car ko kaise touch kiya? Aham car. I am the car. Right? So,
जितना ज्यादा डिस्टर्ब रहता है वो उतना ज्यादा egoist,
yes.
ज्यादा अविद्या है.
Correct. That much degree of avidya. Yes. The more ignorance we are, or we are not practiced. Sometimes we may have the information, but we are not practiced, or we don't remind ourselves, why am I suffering? What is the root cause of the suffering? Right? A devotee completely identifies that, oh, I am the servant of Krishna. Right? And he has no doubt that Krishna is there. So material world में क्या चलता रहेगा? ऐसा नहीं कि suffering बंद हो जाएगा. चीजें रहेंगी, situation रहेगा. But the vision to see the situation, why should I bother about this? Servant of Krishna. Right? Abhi, I remember I was just having a discussion with my friend Apurva Gopal. So he's like, I don't want to do. He was also searching for a place. So almost he finalizing a deal, and then it got stuck because of some society member creating some problem, etc. None of his fault, right? But got stuck. What's his response? I asked him, you want to search something else? And he had done good research, 2-3 महीना लगा करके ढूंढ करके ये मिला और बैंक लोन पूरा सब ready है. Just one, society member is not giving an NOC. That's it. Secretary particularly is not giving an NOC. Matlab, there is absolutely no reason for him to not get that place. It's just somebody, for some random reason, making it stuck. Right? So what's his response? Right? He could have he could be frustrated, right? But then what he says is, I don't want to do prayas. Why should I do a extra prayas yahan par? Right? Bhagwan ko dena hoga. Raspberry knows. Raspberry actually is fulfilling my desire to have a house. He is showing me what a headache having a house is. Like he trailer hi dikha diya. Pura ab tak kiya nahi. So not that he won't get in the future or like that, but he is not putting extremist effort to fix the situation, which is beyond his control. Right? He tried, of course. Not that we are not supposed to try to fix the situation, but not be bogged down about it, but see it from a spiritual vision that yes, okay, God wants to teach me some lesson here, or he wants me to be a little patient, or maybe this is not the right deal for me, he's saving me. Right? So seeing everything in connection to the Lord. If I know Krishna is my best friend, he will give me the best, or he will save me from all kind of things. Right? If I have full faith like that, right, I can see everything in connection to Krishna. And this is a good example. I cannot I personally want to do that or want to be in that situation to, see how Apurva Gopal is seeing right now. But we need to cultivate that slowly and steadily. And once we see that, we understand my root causes. My problem is that I'm not Krishna conscious enough. I am troubled by so many things outside. I am troubled by small situations or big situations, etc. Is because I'm not connected to Krishna nicely. Let me sit nicely, chant, right? Or hear some class which will actually inspire me. I am lacking inspiration to be Krishna conscious. So our main agenda or business should be, let me be Krishna conscious. Rest of the things will work out, will not work out. We try to figure out. Even then it doesn't work out. Chalta rahega.
He said that you see your spiritual life, Krishna will handle your material life.
Yeah. You worry about. Why am I raising my hand? Okay. So if you worry about Krishna and Krishna's business, Krishna will worry about you and your business. As simple as that. And material life is such that एक ही बात एक आता रहेगा. It's like waves in the ocean that you mentioned, right? बंद होगा. Ocean में waves आना बंद होगा.
Don't complain because body है तो pain रहेगा ही.
Correct.
Next time I don't want to hear from anybody यहाँ दर्द हो रहा है कि वहाँ दर्द हो रहा है. Body दिया है अगर it's going to pain. It has come with that. You're born with that.
It's a package deal.
Yeah. Don't
Correct.
complain, please, anybody.
Correct.
You couldn't attend the class because you have a pain. Pain तो रहना ही वाला है.
Just imagine our spiritual masters at this age, right? They are doing so much. They can complain. They rightfully can sit in one place and like bus ho gaya abhi. They have done so much already, right? In spite of that, they are just stretching themselves so much just to serve. And that's their dwelling place, like we discussed, right? Thoughts of my devotee dwell in me, right? So that's dwelling place, or that's comfort for them to actually be constantly engaged in service of Krishna. And if you see, even, spiritual side is one thing. Even logically, if you see, if your mind is engaged in something positive, even if you have a pain, even if you have some troubles, you're less bothered, right? हम क्या करते हैं, कोई एकदम बीमार रहता है, कोई एकदम excruciating pain में रहता है, कोई बच्चा रो रहा होता है, ट्राई करता है ना उसको distract करने का, कहीं पे engage करने का, so that मन हट जाए वहां से, right? So this is the highest engagement. Yeah, this is the highest engagement, right? Okay, so let's read. Okay. So Sloka number 23.
But Karṇa really had to go invite big people because big people will come, they will give good funding for the building of temple. Suggested also he went to Karṇa.
All devotees, he was going, all devotees were saying, Guru Maharaj, please rest. You can stay back.
Karṇa to attend.
I remember, I think
people need so much time and attention.
I remember, I think last year, Guru Maharaj was traveling in the US, and that time his health was really bad. Even for him to walk a little bit was a challenge. And in such a condition, he went through surgery. उसके थोड़ा ही पहले. So जैसे ही थोड़ा सा भी ऐसा he was able to move around, he decided, I'm going to US to, meet the devotees there. So there he went, and I think he was in one of the cities, and from Washington he had एक devotee ने Maharaj को बोला था कि Maharaj, please come. He was the only devotee staying in that location, only single devotee staying in that location, right? And for some reason he couldn't come to Washington. So Guru Maharaj planned, and he had an 8-hour drive in that state, went to just meet that one devotee. And of course, there were some senior disciples who were complaining, what nonsense, tum nahi mil sakte, tumko jana chahiye, why you are troubling Guru Maharaj in this state, right? But he went.
It's getting long here.
Okay. All right, let's read. So, Bhagavad Gita, chapter 11, Sloka 23. So, should we read the translations and finish the chapter today?
Yes.
Okay. So, let's start. I'll start the first one, and then ek karke we read the translations. We'll finish this chapter today. So, 23rd. So last time we did this, I'll read the last one and this one's together. So do karke hum bolenge. So Arjuna is seeing the universal form and he's praying. All the various manifestations of Lord Shiva, the Adityas, the Vasus, the Sadhyas, the Vishwadevas, the two Ashvis, Marutas, the forefathers, the Gandharvas, Yakshas, Asuras, and the perfected demigods are beholding you in wonder. O mighty armed one, all the planets with their demigods are disturbed at seeing your great form with its many faces, eyes, arms, thighs, legs, and bellies, and your many terrible teeth. And as they are disturbed, so am I. So Arjuna is expressing his disturbance. Go on, read the next two.
O all pervading Viṣṇu, seeing in which your many radiant colors touching the sky, with your gaping mouth and your great glowing eyes, my mind is
Perturbed.
perturbed by fear. I can no longer maintain my steadiness or equilibrium. Then again, Arjuna says, O Lord of Lords, O refuge of the birds,
Refuge.
refuge of the birds, please be gracious to me. I cannot keep my balance, seeing just your blazing deathlike faces and awful teeth. In all directions I am bewildered.
So Arjuna is seeing how Krishna has many forms, many bellies, many arms, faces, many teeth. अभी आगे वो teeth का description भी है पढ़िए.
All the sons of Dhṛtarāṣṭra, along with their allied kings, and Bhīṣma, Droṇa, Karṇa, and our chief soldier also, are rushing into your fearful mouths. And some I see trapped with heads smashed between your teeth. As the many waves of the rivers flow into the ocean, so do all these great warriors enter blazing into your mouth.
Seeing all the warriors going into, rushing towards the mouth of one of the mouths, and that's crushing, and it's also emitting fire, blazing fire. Yeah.
I see all people rushing full speed into your mouths, as moths dash to destruction in a blazing fire. O Viṣṇu, I see you devouring all people from all sides with your flaming mouths, covering all the universe with your effulgence. You are manifest with terrible, scorching blaze.
Yeah.
O Lord of Lords, so fierce of form, please tell me who you are. I offer my obeisances unto you. Please be gracious to me. I do not know what your mission is, and I desire to hear of you. The blessed Lord said, Time I am, destroyer of the worlds, and I have come to engage all people, with the exception of you, the Pandavas. All the soldiers here on both sides will be slain.
So you can read the purport of this time I am.
Although Arjuna knew that Krishna was his friend and the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he was nonetheless puzzled by the various forms exhibited by Krishna. Therefore, he asked further about the actual mission of this devastating force. It is written in the Vedas that the Supreme Truth destroys everything, even Brahma.
Brahmanas. अच्छा ब्रह्मा लिखा है. Okay.
Yasya Brahme cha Shatram cha Ubhe Bhavata Odana Mrityur Yasyo Pasejana
Ka iti.
Ka iti Veda Yatrasa.
Ka.
Eventually, all the Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, and everyone else are devoured by the Supreme. This form of the Supreme Lord is an all-devouring giant, and here Krishna presents himself in that form of all-devouring kind. Except for a few Pandavas, everyone who was present in that battlefield would be devoured by him. Arjuna was not in favor of the fight, and he thought it was better not to fight. Then there would be no frustration. In reply, the Lord is saying that even if he did not fight, every one of them would be destroyed. For that is his plan. If he stopped fighting, they would die in another way. Death cannot be checked, even if he did not fight. In fact, they were already dead. Time is destruction, and all manifestations are to be vanquished with the desire of the Supreme Lord. That is the law of nature.
Krishna saying, Time I am, the destroyer of the three worlds, and is showing that everyone in the battlefield will die. So then he says, just become an instrument. He'll say, okay. Which one was that?
But we have to be
32, huh? So 33. Therefore, get up, prepare to fight and win glory. Conquer your enemies and enjoy a flourishing kingdom. They are already put to death by my arrangement, and you, O Sabyasachi, can be an instrument in the fight. Droṇa, Bhīṣma, Jayadratha, Karṇa, and other great warriors have already been destroyed by me. Therefore, kill them and do not be disturbed. Simply fight, and you will vanquish your enemies in the battle.
Vijaya said to Dhṛtarāṣṭra, O king, after hearing these words from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that trembling Arjuna offered obeisances with folded hands again and again. He therefore spoke to Lord Viṣṇu in a flattering,
Faltering voice.
faltering voice as follows. Arjuna said, O master of the senses, the world becomes joyful upon hearing your name, and thus everyone becomes attached to you. Although the perfected being offer you their respectful homage, the devils are afraid, and flee they flee here. They flee here and there. All this is likely given.
So he's saying, O master of senses, the world becomes joyful upon hearing your name, and thus everyone becomes attached to you. Although the perfected beings offer you their respectful homage, the demons are afraid and they flee here and there. All this is rightly done. Okay. So basically, the form of the Lord and the names of the Lord are extremely attractive, and therefore the demigods or the sadhus are attracted and demons are still fleeing away. Okay. Next.
O great one, greater even than Brahma, you are the original creator. Why then should they not offer their respectful obeisances unto you? O limitless one, God of gods, refuge of the universe.
Refuge.
Refuge of the universe. You are the invincible source, the cause of all causes, transcendental to this material manifestation. You are the original personality of Godhead, the oldest, the ultimate
Sanctuary
of this manifested cosmic world. You are the knower of everything, and you are all that is knowledge is knowable. You are the supreme refuge.
Refuge. So refugee is one who's taking refuge. Refuge is the shelter.
You are the supreme refuge above the material modes, O limitless form. This whole cosmic manifestation is pervaded by you.
Next. So basically, Krishna is, this is repeated again and again and again and again. But फिर भी हम समझते नहीं हैं. Right?
English, I mean, it's not even ordinary.
Bhakti Saraswati Thakur Maharaj English, even the Britishers will have to open the dictionary and read कि भाई क्या बोल रहे हैं. हाँ, you should read what is that book? Brahma Samhita. Brahma Samhita का खाली introduction पढ़ो. Right? You will have to sit with the dictionary and read. Even the Britishers will be surprised what English. Okay.
You are air and you are the supreme controller. You are fire, you are water, and you are the moon. You are Brahma, the first living creature, and you are the great grandfather. I therefore offer my respectful obeisance unto you 1,000 times, and again and yet again. Obeisance to you from the front, from behind, and from all sides. O unbounded power, you are the master of limitless mind. You are all-pervading, and thus you are everything.
I have in the past addressed you as O Krishna, O Yadava, O my friend, without knowing your glories. Please forgive whatever I have done in madness or in love. I have dishonored you many times while relaxing or while lying on the same bed or eating together. Sometimes alone and sometimes in front of many friends. Please excuse me for all my offenses. You are the father of this complete cosmic manifestation, the worshipable chief, the spiritual master. No one is equal to you, nor can anyone be one with you. Within the three worlds, you are immeasurable.
So just like when Krishna manifested himself in the prison house, and Vasudeva and Devaki were there. So Devaki Mata, she was perturbed, and he manifested his Viṣṇu form, four-round form, right? And he was really tall, glowing effulgence, right? Pura, it described how, the entire prison house was completely lit, fully lit by the effulgence of the Lord. And then he was wearing, Kaustuba money and some other descriptions of some other jewels is also there, which would change color. So, and the environment color will change completely. So, Devaki Mata is thinking ki, "Arey, where do I hide him? Kamsa will come. Where do I hide him? कैसे छुपा देगा कैसे इनको? एक तो इतने बड़े हैं, he's not like a small baby, and now he's emitting so much light, and it's also changing colors. And how do I hide him?" That was her worry or anxiety, right? So we can see how, even though he's displaying his opulence, right? Who is born with four arms? Who's born like this with all jewels and ornaments and arms, etc. But the Vatsalya love is overpowering, the Aishwarya which is displayed by the Lord, and she's worried, "Kya, how do I hide him?" And a contrast of this is also seen when Krishna kills Kamsa. Krishna, when he kills Kamsa in Mathura, so Vasudeva and Devaki are there, and when they see Krishna after he comes and after killing Kamsa, he comes to them. So they are there with folded hands. Supreme Personality of Godhead, they are there with folded hands, and then Krishna is like, he's feeling awkward. Why my parents folding hands? So then he immediately goes and touches their feet, and then the Vatsalya Prem again, overpowers, and they embrace Krishna like that. So, we see, especially this example of Vasudeva Devaki is like very striking, where they sometimes are, overpowered with Vatsalya and Aishwarya sometimes.
Even in now, right, when Krishna did something, and I think Yashoda Mata punished Krishna, and then Balramji came and said, "You don't know whom you are."
Damodar Leela only. Damodar Leela, when Krishna was tied. So Balramji came and like, "Arey, Bhagwan ko kisne bandha?" Like, who tied Krishna? So he started saying, you don't know who he is, who has the guts to tie Krishna. He's a Parabrahma, he's this and that. And Krishna says, "Arey, Mother Yashoda only has tied." It's like, "Hey, Mother Yashoda, what have you done? You don't know. He's Narasimha, he's Vara, he's Ram." He's like, "हाँ, ठीक है, सारे अवतार मेरे घर में आए." छड़ी लेकर के बलराम जी राज्य
So cute.
Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. Yesterday only, I'm in Barsana, and yesterday we had this Leela of Shivji coming to Yashoda Mata. And Yashoda Mata is saying, "No, no, no, मेरो लल्लो तो बहुत छोटो है और वो डर जाएंगे." So Shivji says, "अरे तेरा लल्लो छोटो नहीं है, बहुत बड़ो है और डरने को क्यों?" Means, in the Braj Bhasha, the way they say, that Vatsalya Prem was reflecting with both, with, Yashoda Mata trying to protect Krishna, and Shivji trying to say the Mahima that you don't know who your child is. You're telling me that your child is going to get scared. You must be out of your mind like that.
Yeah. And then Krishna starts crying, and she has to show Krishna's face to Lord Shiva. Yes.
Yes.
So here Arjuna, although in Sakhyaras, now suddenly is seeing so much opulence, and he's saying, "I'm sorry, We lie down in the grass at the same time and we joke. I pulled your leg. Sorry for all those things. Yeah. Please excuse all those offenses. Yeah. Yeah. So, and he says, like you read, you are the father of complete cosmic manifestation of moving, non-moving. You are its worshipable chief, supreme spiritual master. No one is greater than you, nor can anyone be one with you. How then could there be anyone greater than you within the three words, O Lord of immeasurable power? Because he was seeing immeasurable power, unlimited, manifestations of the Lord. Yeah. You are the supreme Lord to be worshipped by every living being. As I fall down to offer you my respectful obeisances and ask your mercy. As a father tolerates the impudence of his son, a friend, the impertinence of a friend, or a husband, the familiarity of his wife, please tolerate the wrongs I may have done to you. So he's just trying to give examples, and then he's like, please forgive me. He's saying how the father tolerates बच्चा अगर कुछ ज्यादा शरारत भी करे और he climbs on the back of the father, right? कोई और चढ़ने की कोशिश करे तो father won't tolerate, but the son of course can climb on the back also, and he tolerates. Similarly, a friend may tolerate some joking words, some leg pulling, some pranks, right? And husband may tolerate the over familiarity the wife may display, right? And so like that, he's saying, please tolerate the wrongdoings I may have done. And after seeing this universal form, which I have never seen before, I am gladdened. But at the same time, my mind is disturbed with fear. Therefore, please bestow your grace upon me and reveal again your form as the personality of Godhead. O Lord of Lords, O abode of the universe.
O universal form, O thousands-armed Lord, I wish to see you in your four-armed form, with the naked head and with blood. Real corn and lotus flower in his hand. I long to see you in that form.
So loudly.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, my dear Arjuna, happily have I shown you by my internal potency, this supreme universal form within the material world. No one before you has ever seen this primal form, unlimited and full of glittering intelligence.
Right. Yeah, go on.
O best of the Kuru warriors, no one before you have ever seen this universal form of man. For neither by studying the Vedas, nor by performing sacrifices, nor by charity, nor by pious activities, nor by
Severe.
penances can I be seen in the form in the material world. You have been perturbed and bewildered by seeing this horrible feature of mine. Now let it be finished. My devotee, be free again from all disturbances. With a peaceful mind, you can now see the form you desire.
Sanjay said to Dhṛtarāṣṭra, the supreme personality of Godhead, Viṣṇu have spoken this.
Having spoken thus.
Having spoken thus to Arjuna, displayed his real four-armed form and at last showed his two-armed form, thus encouraging the fearful Arjuna.
Why do you think it's mentioned real four-armed form?
That's a real form.
So अभी जो दिखा है वो unreal था.
Viṣṇu has four arms. That is the reality.
Okay. So universal form is not real.
That is real, but correspondingly, we wanted to show that here Viṣṇu का form ही है.
True form जैसे जो अभी रूप दिखाया वो रेगुलर फॉर्म में रहते हैं.
Correct.
रेगुलरली वो किसी फॉर्म में रहते हैं और ये
Ah. So universal form actually is not a permanent form, or it's not a form in which the Lord exists, right, in the Vaikunthas or in the spiritual world, right? He displays this form whenever the material manifestation is there, of course. Right? So in the purport also, Prabhupada is describing when Krishna appeared as son of Vasudeva Devaki, he first of all appeared in the four-armed Narayan form. But when he was requested by his parents, he transformed himself into an ordinary child in appearance. Similarly, Krishna knew Arjuna was not interested in seeing the four-handed form. Okay. But since Arjuna asked to see this four-handed form, Krishna also showed him this form again and then showed himself in the two-handed form. The word Saumya Vapu is very significant. Saumya Vapu is a very beautiful form. It is known as a most beautiful form. When he was present, everyone was attracted simply by Krishna's form. And because Krishna is the director of the universe, he just banished the fear of Arjuna, his devotee, and showed him again his beautiful form of Krishna. Right? In the Rama Samhita, it is stated, Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochanena. Only a person whose eyes are smeared with the ointment of love can see the beautiful form of Sri Krishna. Okay, please continue, sorry.
When Arjuna first saw Krishna in his original form, he said, "O Janardana, seeing this human-like form so very beautiful, I am now composed in mind and I am restored to my original nature."
So Krishna showed from universal form to four-armed form, right? किसी को कुछ doubt हो कि भाई यही नारायण है क्या? So नारायण form भी दिखा दिया, and then again back to two-armed form. Okay, go on. Second, you have to read two, right?
I read
Acha.
previous one. I read.
हाँ.
Should I read 47?
52.
Wait for the word.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "My dear Arjuna, this form of mine you are now seeing is very difficult to behold. Even the demigods are ever seeking the opportunity to see this form, which is so dear. The form you are seeing with your transcendental eyes cannot be understood simply by studying the Vedas, nor by undergoing serious penances, nor by charity, nor by worship. It is not by these means that one can see me as I am."
So Krishna, he described how nobody has seen the universal form also, right? Nobody has seen the universal form. Then he showed the four-armed form, which is even more rare, right? Very extremely difficult. And here he's saying his two-armed form, no one can understand, nor by studying the Vedas, nor by any penances, nor by charity, nor by worship. No one can understand the two-armed form of the Lord. My dear Arjuna, तो कैसे समझेंगे? अभी आगे बताते. Only by undivided devotional service can I be understood as I am standing before you, and can thus be seen directly. Only in this way can you enter into the mystery of my understanding. My dear Arjuna, he who engages in my pure devotional service, free from contamination of fruitive activities and mental speculation, he who works for me, who makes me the supreme goal of his life, who is friendly to every living being, he certainly comes to me. Right? So what we need to do is make Krishna our supreme goal of life. Just like we were discussing a little earlier, if we have a larger goal in mind, right? If I have to travel from Bombay to Pune, अभी रास्ते में खड्डे आएंगे, will I stop and cry, अरे खड्डा आ गया, right? I go, I'll tolerate the bump because I have to reach the destination. My mind is completely on the goal. I have to reach Pune, right? Similarly, if we are clear where we have to go, disturbances will come and go like those bumps on the road, but we don't stop. We continue traveling towards our destination.
But it's not like that. Many cases it's pata nahi destination hai bikini.
So that's the ignorance. So that's the ignorance. That's what we need to tackle. That's why we have Shastra. That's why we have devotee association. That's why we have so many classes and kirtans and lectures. and chanting. So if we simply remember, practice remembering this actually. We should practice remembering this, that all my root cause of my problem is ignorance of my relationship with Krishna. If I understand my relationship with Krishna, these problems will be like bumps on the road. I just have to. And वो फिर क्या Mercedes वाला गाड़ी में bumps feel भी नहीं होगा ज़्यादा. अभी हमारा बिना सस्पेंशन का वॉकर है, गाड़ी भी नहीं है. Okay, so
When I was working, I remember my boss.
hmm.
He वो बहुत इतना शेयर करता था मेरे साथ निखिल खंडेलवाल. My wife is so devotional. खो जाती है जब.
Okay.
Literally, then sometimes Hanumanji comes and talks to her also. He used to be like, "Acha."
Nikhil Khandelwal, the boss.
The boss would
Acha.
tell us. So then he's like, "मेरे मंदिर में भगवद गीता भी रखी है, भी पूजा करते हैं हम लोग." So once Nikhil and I decided we would give him Bhagavad Gita as it is. We gave him. Then he said, "Are you serious? ये थोड़ी practically possible है. No one can do this practically. It's meant to be intelligent."
Yeah. So people may talk big, but to practice.
Ignorance.
Yeah. So not just outsiders' life, there is ignorance. In our lives also. I mean, to what degree are we able to practice? Right? So one should constantly assess that, and then वो पहले डॉक्टर देखता ना कितना बुखार है या कितनी बीमारी है, and accordingly you give the medicine. So we also have to constantly figure out. हमको कभी-कभी लगता है कि अरे we are very devotional, but the real test is in these situations. How do we respond? How do we react? That is our real test. How much faith we have in the Lord. भगवान याद भी आते कि नहीं आते तभी, right? That's the test. Because imagine all these things that you're going through right now compared to the pain and anxiety at the time of death. At the time of death, whatever you're going through, the worst that you've gone through will be multiplied into 1,000. Isn't it?
Yes.
Right? How will you remember Krishna at that point in time?
We have to practice from home.
Correct. तो छोटा मोटा अभी कुछ आएगा, ऐसा बड़ा वेव भी आ गया थोड़ा और हम ऐसा हिल गए, अभी माला थोड़ा 4 दिन के लिए बंद कर देते हैं. That's exactly what will save you, and you need to practice remembering Krishna in the difficult times. Otherwise भूल जाओ, डेथ के टाइम पे भगवान नहीं याद आएंगे. Right? You'll continue some more lifetimes.
Every problem I remember that I don't remember Krishna.
And remembering that you don't remember Krishna, you actually remember Krishna. No, so it's difficult, it's not easy, but we need to consciously remind ourselves, and hearing helps. Hearing, in chanting, reading, it helps. So अगर ऐसा लग रहा है कि हाँ मैं नहीं remember कर पा रहा हूँ भगवान को, then in your regular day when things are okay, practice more or improve the quality of your practice. Right? Sometimes we hear so much, 4 घंटे 5 घंटे सुन लेंगे, लेकिन कैसे सुन रहे हैं हम 4 काम करते हुए, कुछ जा रहा है कुछ नहीं जा रहा है, कुछ समझ में भी नहीं आ रहा है. Right? So quality of hearing also is very, very important. Some people can hear maybe half a lecture, right? Maybe few lines late आए, खाली 2 lines सुन लिए, those 2 lines are touch their heart so much, and they are trying to imbibe that in their lives so seriously, it changes their life completely. So quantity definitely, quality also is very, very important. Okay. नहीं, so dheet हम सब है, लेकिन we need to somehow practice, pray, like beg, cry to the Lord that my heart is not transforming. Please do something. We were hearing yesterday in Bhagavatam class. We were hearing yesterday in Bhagavatam class that how an entire day of Brahma is gone, right? And the entire creation is wound up. The entire creation is done for the purpose to give us an opportunity to become Krishna conscious. एक दिन पूरा चला गया ब्रह्मा जी का जिसमें we've taken repeated birth and deaths, right? Imagine 8.4 billion years, right? Or sorry, 12.2 billion years, something like that. उतने साल चले गए and we've taken multiple births and we've not been able to perfect our lives. So the whole creation is wound up. Next day again, ऐसा चलता गया, ब्रह्मा जी का life का end आ गया 100 साल, right? And Ananta Shesha, who's holding the universe, he feels frustrated that even after so much time has elapsed, there are still people, majority of them, who have not taken up to Krishna consciousness, gone there. So he's in that frustration, he emits fire from his mouth and it burns the entire universe. That's how the final devastation at the end of Brahma's life happened. And Mahavishnu inhales again and all the universes go back. So that it was an interesting description yesterday. Anyways,
This is Srimad Bhagavatam.
Srimad Bhagavatam, third canto.
That's when I realized we saw them हो जाएंगे ब्रह्मा के
100 साल में.
कुछ बदलाव
नहीं, उसके पहले हो जाएगा, टेंशन मत ले.
हाँ, हो जाएगा. My Guru Maharaj has said, anyone who is taken Diksha from me, who has sheltered, who are aspiring from me, and I pray to Krishna this be the last one. Guru Maharaj pe bharosa.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll stop recording and we'll do some exercise, right? Maybe 15 more minutes and then we'll start.